Nothing in life is so meaningless. Nothing in life is so random that it doesn't serve a purpose. God will use all our experience in life. We just don't know when and how. Ang lahat ng ating mga nararanasan, ang lahat ng ating mga nakakaharap sa buhay, may paggagamitan yan. Ang tanong lang, hindi natin alam kung kailan at saka paano. Pero lahat ng inilalaan sa atin ng Diyos, araw-araw sa ating buhay, may sense yan. Hindi lang natin alam kung sa paanong paraan siya magkakaroon ng sense at kailan. So everything in life is not so random. It's not so meaningless. Everything serves a purpose. Paano natin magagamit yung mga parang tila walang kinalaman na bagay sa ating buhay? Kailan natin ito magagamit? That is yet to be revealed. And this is how the story of Zaphenat Paneah unfolded. Zaphenat Paneah is the second most powerful man in Egypt. And what you are seeing in your screen right now are actual hieroglyphics dedicated to his presence. He is the second most powerful man in Egypt. And this person, Zaphenat Paneah, shaped ancient politics. This person, Zaphenat Paneah, shaped economics in the ancient Egypt civilization. He also shaped social welfare for all in the ancient times. He is so significant. But before this man became known as the great Zaphenat Paneah, we know him more commonly and perhaps more intimately as Joseph. Mas kilala natin siya commonly as Joseph, the son of Jacob, the dreamer. At ito ang susubaybayan natin na kwento at reflection ngayong umaga na ito. Sa ating shared reflection sa ating message na tutunghayan sa kwento. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1, there is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heaven. Ang lahat ng bagay ay may panahon, may paglalaanan. Kailangan lang matuntun natin para saan at anong panahon nga ba siya magkakaroon ng sense. Once upon a time, there was a patriarch who goes by the name of Jacob. Jacob had 12 children. Si Reuben, Simeon, there's Levi, Judah, there's also Dan, Naphtali, and there were also Gad, Asher, Issachar, Zebulun, and the two youngest, Joseph and Benjamin. Genesis 37 verse 3 to 4. Jacob loved Joseph more than he did any of his other sons, because Joseph was born when Jacob was very old. Jacob had given Joseph a fancy coat, which showed that Joseph was his favorite son. And so Joseph's brothers hated him and would not be friendly to him. Dahil nga itong si Joseph ay dumating na ipanganak nung time na medyo matanda na si Jacob, paborito. At sa 12 na anak, kay Joseph may pa-jacket. Pansin nyo? A fancy coat. In some translation, a very special coat na yung 12 wala. Diba? At dahil nga sa ganyang show of favoritism, there was hate inside the family. Alam natin na hindi tama magkaroon ng favorite sa pamilya. One way or another, nakakita na tayo ng ganyang eksena. Hindi nakakatulong, hindi maganda ang may favorite sa pamilya. Maraming sakit, maraming away ang nangyayari dahil sa pagkakaroon ng favorite. And we will follow more about this kind of predicament in the story. Early on, itong si Joseph, well, okay, favorite siya. Pero itong si Joseph, meron din talaga siyang special gifts. Meron siyang unique talents. And even early on, Joseph can sense his great purpose in life. He will have visions. Meron siyang mga visions. Meron siyang mga dreams na malalalim ang ibig sabihin. And one of the dreams, one of the vision na nakuha niya ay, one of these days, magiging high ruler ako ng lupain na ito. But of course, dahil nga lumaki siya sa konteksto na may paborito, imbis na umusbong at mag-flourish yung gift niya, kinamumuhian siya ng mga kapatid niya. At malamang marami rin sa pamilya bukod sa kapatid niya. Kasi nga, hindi maganda ang may favorite. Genesis 37:9, Joseph's brothers ask, "Do you really think you are going to be king and rule over us?" Now, they hated Joseph more than ever because of what he said about his dream. Kasi nga nagkakaroon na siya ng mga vision at kwento naman siya ng kwento. Yung mga kapatid ngayon, lalong nagagalit, lalong naiinis. Kala mo, porke paborito ka, talagang mangyayari lahat yan. So, maganda man yung kanyang vision, maganda man yung kanyang mga nakikita, nababaliwala. Sa simula pa lang ng kwento, we can see the context of Joseph's background and the context of Joseph's family. There is privilege, there is favoritism, there is bias, and there is anger inside the family. At yan, mga kasama, yan ang sumisira sa napakagandang potential ng family. Ang ganda-ganda sana ng family, ang dami-daming magagawa mightily ng isang pamilya, kaso nasisila ang potential because of favoritism, because of bias. Nag-aaway-away tuloy. Kaya ito mga kapatid, ang sabi niya nga, akala mo porke may gift ka, akala mo mangyayari talaga yan. Porke favorite ka, akala mo talaga mangyayari yan. Kaya nung minsan, nagkaroon nga ng pagkakataon itong magkakapatid para i-express yung kanilang galit sa kanilang kapatid na si Joseph. Nung minsan na nasa field sila, nasa bukirin, nakita nila paparating itong si Joseph. Genesis 37:18-20. They saw Joseph coming and made plans to kill him. Imagine that. Imagine that kind of hate. Between magkakapatid, ha? Nung nakita nila si favorite, ang plano nila, patayin natin kaya. They said to each other, "Look, here comes the hero with those dreams. Let's kill him and throw him into a pit and say that some wild animal ate him. Then we'll see what happens to those dreams." Patayin nga kaya natin na makita natin kung talaga mangyayari yung mga dreams niya na yan. Diba? Imagine the hate. Imagine the anger inside the family. Ayan na nga, nagkaroon na ng pagkakataon. In fairness, dun sa magkakapatid, si Ruben naman na nahimik. Sabi niya, umuoo lang siya. O sige, pero ang plano niya, if you will read the story, ang plano niya, sige itatapon doon sa loob ng balon, pero mamaya i-rescue niya. Pero hindi siya nagsasalita. Neutral kuno. Pero hindi rin favored, hindi rin nakakatulong yung pagiging neutral. Ang pinakamalupit na suggestion si Judah. Ang sabi ni Judah, if you will read again the story, sabi niya, "Uy, wag naman natin patayin, kapatid natin yan. Ganito na lang gawin natin, ibenta natin siya. Pagkakakitaan pa natin. Tsaka natin i-report sa bahay na namatay siya." Di ba ang galing ng plano, pinagkakitaan? Ang galit sa pamilya, sobrang poison. And it's something that we must be cautious of. Genesis 39:1-3. In short, natuloy ang pagbebenta kay Joseph. And what happened is, the Ishmaelites took Joseph to Egypt and sold him to Potiphar, the king's official in charge of the palace guard. So Joseph lived in the home of Potiphar, his Egyptian owner. So meron ng may owner kay Joseph. From here, ang laki-laking shock, ang laking-laking surprise ang gumulat kay Joseph. From being a favored son, now he is an unknown servant. From being an entitled rich boy with so many privilege, ngayon he is a nobody, a slave. At alam nyo, pag kayong mga mayaman ang biglang naghihirap, parang mas mukhang kawawa. Napansin niyo yon? Pag yung mahirap naman kasi ang naghirap, walang pagbabago. Di ba? Dati naman nang nahihirapan yan. So, konting adjustment na lang. Pero pag yung mga mayaman, ang nagiging kawawa, ang hirap talaga tignan. Mukhang miserable. Kaya, one lesson on the side, pag kayo naging mayaman, magpakatino kayo. O kayo, ang yayaman nyo, kayong mga nasa likod. Magpakatino kayo lahat. Kasi ang hirap, yung bigla kang babagsak from such height. Di ba? So, ingatan yung mga ganyang gifts. Joseph showed great potential. Ang laki-laki ng potential ni Joseph. Early on, nakikita na niya kung ano yung mga kaya niyang gawin. However, potentials and purpose can be blurred by entitlement, by discrimination, by hatred, especially inside the family. Kaya dapat iingatan natin yan. If there's one thing we have to avoid, it is hate. The only thing to hate is hate itself. Maraming tao ang magaling sana, kaso nauunahan ng yabang, ng selfish desires, instead of focusing on the gifts, on the purpose, on what needs to be done. Philippians chapter 2, verse 5 to 7, you must have the same attitude that Christ Jesus had. Ito yung advice ni Apostle Paul. Though he was God, though Jesus was God, he did not think of equality with God as something to cling to. Sabi pa ni Apostle Paul, instead, Jesus gave up his divine privileges. He took the humble position of a slave and was born as a human being. So dapat level ang utak, level ang attitude, para hindi nakakaharang sa mga potentials. Sa pagpapatuloy ng kwento. So itong si Joseph, di ba, naibenta na siya. Sobrang galit sa loob ng pamilya, pinagtulungan siya magkakapatid, naibenta. Naging slave, naging katulong sa household ni Potiphar, as we have read. Now, during his time of servitude, Joseph was very effective. Joseph was very effective kasi nga he is more refined, he is more intelligent, and more good-looking than the other servant. Kasi nga, dati naman nang may kaya si Joseph. Kaya obviously, nung panagtabi-tabi siya nung ibang mga serbidor doon sa bahay ni Potiphar, mas matalino, mas magaling, mas maalam, at mas pogi. Kasi sanay sa lotion. Lumaki sa lotion, lumaki sa healthy food, lumaki na kumpleto ang tulog. Remember, yun naman talaga ang buhay ni Joseph eh. Kaya lang, Joseph got the unwanted attention of his boss's wife. Kasi nga mas pogi eh. At alam mo naman, sa bahay na yun at yun ang nakikita mo, kahit yung mga hindi kagandahan, gumaganda. Kasi nga, yun ang nakikita. How much more pag may pogi nga doon sa bahay? Eh di talagang umaangat siya. Nakursunadahan ng asawa ni Potiphar. Genesis chapter 39, verse 17 to 20. Hindi lang basta kursunada. Nung minsan umuwi ang asawa ni si Mr. Potiphar, nung umuwi, ang sumbong ni Mrs., nagsumbong, Potiphar's wife said, that Hebrew slave of yours tried to rape me. But when I screamed for help, he left his coat and ran out of the house. Potiphar became very angry. Siyempre, nagulat yung mister eh. Di ba? Nagulat yung mister sa sumbong. Tapos siguro, ginupit-gupit pa niya yung bestida niya para talaga mukhang rape ang dating. So, Potiphar threw Joseph in the same prison where the king's prisoners were kept. Imagine, sa patong-patong, sa daming mga sakit na naranasan ni Joseph mula sa kanyang pamilya, ito siya ngayon, pinatapon, nakaranas na siya ng injustice. Sobra na yata ito. Yung una, medyo deserve siguro niya, na-realize niya, kasi nga naman favorite, pero wala na akong ginagawa ngayon. Napag-iinitan na lang yata talaga ako. Joseph is now a victim of injustice. Kala nyo tapos na, hindi pa. Habang nakakulong, so tuloy lang ang buhay niya, tumutulong naman siya sa iba, sa kapwa. At dahil may gift siya, remember? May gift siya. Tinulungan niya ibang mga nakakulong doon. Binigyan niya ng advice, binigyan niya ng counsel. Yung isa, natulungan niya talaga ng husto, lumaya. At hindi lang basta lumaya, nagkaroon pa ng appointment ulit doon sa king, doon sa Pharaoh. However, Genesis 40, 22 to 23, everything happened just as Joseph has said it would. According doon sa advice niya, doon sa tinulungan niya, mangyayari lahat yan. Makakalaya ka, ma-appoint ka ulit as advisor to the king. But the king's personal servant completely forgot about Joseph. So this time around, tumulong siya at lahat, pero nakalimutan din siya. Alam mo yun, yung parang tipong pag magkasama kayo, sige, di tayo mag-iiwanan. Diba? Hawak kamay, ganyan. Nung nakalaya na, nung na-appoint na ulit, parang pamilyar ang pangalan na Joseph. Sino nga ulit yun? Nagkalimutan. So from anger, there was injustice, there was neglect. This time, there was abandonment. Patong-patong na problema, patong-patong na trouble ang dumating kay Joseph. What will ever happen to this story? Saan hahantong ang ang lahat ng gulo at hirap na ito kay Joseph. One thing na sana nare-realize natin palagi, everything in life will come to pass. All things will come to pass. Even if it's troubles, even if it's pains, lilipas ang lahat ng bagay. Ang lahat ng problema, lahat ng hinanakit, lahat yan lilipas. At marami sa atin, naka-experience na yan. Meron tayong ganyan at ganyang kwento, bahagi sa buhay natin na akala natin noon ang bigat-bigat na hindi na natin malulusutan. And then suddenly, nandito naman pala tayo. So nalusutan din. Lahat ng bagay na yan, mga problema, mga troubles, lilipas yan. Pero ang pangako ng Diyos, ang kabutihan ng Diyos, ang mabuting plano ng Diyos, ang pag-ibig at biyaya ng ating Panginoon, you know what? Yan, hindi yan lilipas. All the troubles will pass away, but the Word of God, the goodness of God, the love of God, it will never pass away. Matthew 24, verse 35, Heaven and earth will pass away. Kasama ang lahat, lilipas lahat yan. But my words, my goodness, my love, it will never pass away. Yun ang pangako. And as we will see, this is clearly not the end of Joseph's story. At konting tip, kayo mga kaibigan, mga kasama, pagka nasa pangit na bahagi pa ang kwento ng buhay nyo, ibig sabihin nun, hindi pa tapos ang kwento. Ganun yun. Pagka medyo nahihirapan pa kayo, pag medyo masakit pa ang chapter na yan sa buhay nyo, that is exactly what it is. Chapter lang yan. Dadaan pa yan. Pag medyo ginugulpi pa yung bida, hindi pa tapos yung pelikula. Di ba ganun yun? Ginugulpi-gulpi muna siya para glorious yung ending. And I think it's true. It's a hero's journey for every one of us. Pag medyo mabigat pa, ibig sabihin, dumadaan ka pa lang papuntang climax. Hindi pa papunta dun sa ending. So, Joseph was in prison. Balik tayo sa kwento. Nakakulong pa rin si Joseph. Wala pa rin pagbabago na nangyayari sa kanya. Pero tuloy lang ang buhay. Tumutulong pa rin siya kung ano yung pwede niya maitulong. Dumating ang pagkakataon na yung Pharaoh, the king, the emperor of the land, meron siyang vision na hindi niya maintindihan. Pero alam na alam niya na yung vision na ito importante, hindi ko pwedeng palagpasin. Ang problema, all the wise men in the empire cannot interpret what that vision is. Pero hindi siya mapakali, itong emperor, itong Pharaoh, hindi siya mapakali na hindi pwedeng palagpasin ito. This is so important. Kaso walang makapag-reveal sa kanya kung sino. Except for one. Joseph. At simple lang yung kanyang interpretation. Mahal na hari, magkakaroon ng sobrang tinding taggutom. We need to prepare right now. At nag-click yung spirit ng vision inside the Pharaoh and yung interpretation ni Joseph, nag-match. Alam nila yun eh. Kasi nagma-match lagi ang mga spirits. So nag-match. Alam niya, tama itong tao na ito. Siya yung nakapagbigay ng tamang interpretation. What happened next? Genesis 41:39-45. The king, the Pharaoh, told Joseph, God is the one who has shown you these things. No one else is as wise as you are or knows as much as you do. I am putting you in charge of my palace. Imagine that. The Pharaoh speaking. Sinasabi niyang palace, hindi lang yung palasyo, the empire itself. You are now in charge of the palace. And everybody will have to obey you. No one will be over you except me. Siya yung highest. So, ibig sabihin, siya ang second highest. Wala nang ibang kasunod niya. You are now governor of Egypt. Then, the king took off his royal ring and put it on Joseph's finger. And the king, the Pharaoh, gave him fine clothes to wear and placed a gold chain around his neck. I just want us to appreciate itong detail na ito. Nung una, ang binibigay kay Joseph, pa-jacket. Di ba? Pa-jacket, a symbol of favoritism. Ngayon, hindi na yun ang tinatanggap niya. Yung dating coat of favoritism, of entitlement, of privilege, hindi na yan ang suot mo ngayon. robe of responsibility. Yung signet na ring, hindi lang yung basta gold ring kasi dati yun ang pangpirma. Magpapataka ng kandila doon sa pinakasulat ng wax, tapos mamarkahan mo nung ring mo. So unique yung ring na yon. Yun yung signet ring. Yung dating mga fashion clothes niya dahil favorite kid siya sa pamilya, wala na lahat yon. Bagong kasuotan na ang gamit ni Joseph. A clothing, a fashion of responsibility, of duty, of honor. Yun na ang suot niya ngayon. The Pharaoh also let Joseph ride in the chariot next to his own para mai-announce na ito na yung bagong appointed governor. Ipinarada siya. And the people shouted, "Make way for Joseph." So Joseph was now governor of Egypt. Bagong pagkatao. Bagong chapter sa buhay ni Joseph. Hindi pa tapos. Verse 44. The king told Joseph, "Although I am king, no one in Egypt is to do anything without your permission." Kasi nga mahalaga yung gagawin natin ngayon. Remember, may darating na tagtuyot. He gave Joseph the Egyptian name Zaphenath Paneah. And another detail we have to appreciate, the Pharaoh let Joseph marry Asenath, the daughter of Potipherah. A priest in the city of Heliopolis, Joseph traveled all over Egypt. Tinanggihan niya yung nauna kanina na asawa ni Potiphar. Kasi meron palang nakalaan na Potipherah. Not just nobody. Anak siya ng religious leader ng buong Egypt, ng buong empire. Ang daming ibig sabihin ng kwento. Ang daming symbolism. Kailangan i-appreciate yon. Also, from here, gusto niyang mag-the end. In this case, the promotion is not the ending of Joseph's story. Hindi pa yan ang the end. Na-promote lang siya pero may purpose. May tagtuyot na mangyayari. Kaya nga naganap lahat yan eh. At dito niyo makikita ngayon yung transformation ni Joseph. Genesis 47:13-17. The famine was bad everywhere in Egypt and in Canaan, and the people were suffering terribly. So, Joseph sold them the grain that had been stored up, kasi nga nag-ipon sila, and nagbenta siya. And then he put the money in the king's treasury. Diretso sa treasury. Kasi mahaba-haba ang taggutom na ito. At sang sabi pa ni Joseph, if you don't have money, kasi nga nagkaubusan na rin. Remember, it's so terrible. Everyone suffered. So wala nang pera, natural yung tao. Wala namang pang-circulate eh. One way ang flow ng economics, papunta lang sa king's treasury. Ang second policy, ang second strategy ni Joseph, if you do not have any money, Joseph answered, give me your animals. Give me your animals and I will let you have some grain. Akin na yung mga hayop nyo, bibigyan ko kayo ng konting punla, pananim. From then on, they brought him their horses and donkeys and their sheep and their goats in exchange for grain. So kahit paano umiikot ang ekonomiya. Within a year, Joseph had collected every animal in Egypt. So possession na niya ngayon lahat ng grains. Possession na niya lahat ng money. Check. Ngayon, possession niya lahat ng mga animals. Check. Hindi pa tapos. Verse 20-24. The famine became so severe. Hindi pa tapos. Mahaba yung famine na yon. It became so severe that Joseph finally bought every piece of land in Egypt for the king. Kasi naubos na yung pera eh. Siyempre, naubos na yung hayop, di ba? Kanya na lahat. Ano nang susunod na ibebenta ng mga tao? Ang mga lupain. So, in short, nakuha na niya lahat ng lupain. And then also, bukod sa lupain, everyone committed servitude to the king. Kaya naging king slaves ang lahat. By title, king slaves. Pero ganito ang ginawa niya. Sabi ni Joseph, you and your land now belong to the king. I am now giving you seed to plant. But 1/5 of your crops must go to the king. 20% dito yan sa king. You can keep the rest as seed or as food for your families. So nakita niyo yung strategy niya. Kasi pag hindi kinontrol ng isang tao, kanya-kanyang diskarte yan. Kanya-kanyang kain, kanya-kanyang ubos ng resources. So, kailangan may isang magkokontrol. So, ang ginawa niya, kinuha niya lahat. Tapos, i-redistribute din naman. Para lang makatawid tayo ng sama-sama. Again, ang dami-dami na meaning, levels of interpretation nitong kwento na ito. But one thing we can see here, si Joseph kasi, Joseph knew what it's like to be marginalized. Joseph knew how it's like to be kawawa. Joseph knew what it's like to suffer from injustice. And Joseph knew what it's like to be abandoned. Kaya, Joseph made sure na dito, sa strategy natin para makatawid sa tagtuyot na ito, lahat kasama. Walang maiiwan. Lahat makikinabang. Nagbago. Nagbago ang attitude, nagbago ang mentality, nagbago ang puso ni Joseph. So, gusto niyo the end na ulit. From being a favored kid, a favored son, dumana siya maraming hirap, injustice and everything, na promote, etc., etc. Pero hindi doon nagtatapos ang kwento. Joseph's promotion and success is not the ending of the story. At yun yung gusto ko ring makita natin. Kadalasan kasi sa atin, pagka yumaman na yung tao, kala natin ending na. O kumusta na siya? Ayun, mayaman na. Okay, and so, yung yaman, mga kapatid, yung mga promotion na yan, bahagi lang ng buhay yan. It will be there, sometimes it's not, and then it will be there again. So it comes and go. Ang mahalaga, yung kabuuan ng ating pagkatao, ng ating kalooban. Genesis 50, 18-20. Nang matapos ang lahat ng yan, nagkita-kita ulit ang magkakapatid. Skip na natin yung chapter na yon for another time. Pero nung na-realize ng mga magkakapatid na may ginawa tayong mali kay Joseph. Verse 18, Then Joseph's brothers came and threw themselves down before Joseph. Look, sabi niyang gano'n. Mga kapatid, yumuko tayo kay Joseph, may ginawa tayong mali. Joseph, we are your slaves, they said. Interestingly, ito yung response ni Joseph. Do not be afraid of me. Am I God that I can punish you? You intended to harm me, but God intended it all for good. He brought me to this position so I could save lives, the lives of so many people. Nakita niyo yung paglawak ng pananaw ni Joseph. Hoy, magsitayo nga kayo dyan. Ano bang tingin niyo sa akin? Pabaw-baw pa kayo. Hindi na ito tungkol sa atin. Tungkol na ito sa lahat ng tao. Yung personal na kwento natin, kwento rin yan ng lahat ng tao. At kailangan sa pamamagitan ng naranasan natin, dapat lalong lumawak. The goodness should spread out through our story. Because, yes, bad things happen in life. Pains happen in life. All of this can be meant to harm, pero God will always use it for the good. Ang totoong ending ng kwento ni Joseph, the true ending of Joseph's story, is his rediscovery of the meaning of grace and love. Baliwala ang lahat ng posisyon, yaman at kapangyarihan kung hindi natin maiunawaan ang tunay na kahulugan ng pag-ibig at ng biyaya. Kasi dun tayo mabubuhay. Ang dami-daming pwedeng baunin dito sa kwento na ito. And I would like to challenge you to reflect some more about it. Tayong lahat, we are defined by how we respond to life. Good things may happen, paano ka mag-respond? Bad things may happen, paano ka mag-respond? We are defined by our response. Iwasan ng bitterness, iwasan ng anger. Bigat yan sa buhay. God will use all our experience. We just don't know when and how. The end of our journey is to go back to where love began. Joseph's story started inside the family, and it will always come back to the family. The end of our journey is to find where love began, and to look at love, to understand love and grace like we never knew it before.